Would guidance from an expert help you to grow your business or career? Or do you seek inspiration for you or your kids? If so, welcome. Behind the Words TV gives you that one-on-one time with famous and emerging authors or content creators. They'll take you where you want to go. Behind the Words TV, right now. Are you in a rut? Are you stuck and need something to grow, to entertain yourself, to learn, to laugh, to reach out and be something you're not? Well, you're in the right place then, because this episode of Behind the Words TV is perfect for you. Hi, I'm Paul Madsen, host of Behind the Words TV, founder of growmedia.com, and author of Men Grieve Too. And I'm very excited today because with me I have Carl Erickson. Carl, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, great to have you. Carl is with the Bookworm bookstore right here in Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm very excited about this segment because I love books. I was telling you offline that I've got stacks and stacks that I try to get through. So what do you do at the Bookworm, Carl?
At the Bookworm, I am our event and community outreach coordinator, and I'm responsible for getting author and other community events on the calendar, as well as setting up offsite sales with nonprofits, schools, other organizations. And then, I do a bunch of other stuff at the store.
Chief cook and bottle washer, right? You catch a lot. Well, and there's something needs done, you get to do it, right?
Yeah.
Well, you said something interesting to me. You said having authors having events that happen at the store. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we have a fair number of events every month. I would say sometimes as many as one to two a week.
Wow.
A lot of weekends we'll have events, and they are either visiting like national authors that are sent to us from publishers, or local authors that are interested in just setting up launch parties or just events to celebrate their recent releases.
Super. Give us a real quick rundown of some national scope authors that you've had at the Bookworm.
Sure. So this year we've had William Kent Kruger. He's a mystery author, and Rinker Buck and Mark Lee Gardner. They're two nonfiction historians.
Oh, wow.
We've had Mary Pfeiffer, who's been writing for many years. One of her most famous books is 25 years old, or older at this point. So she's been writing for a long time. Is actually based out of Lincoln, but is a national name. And
lots of big names and good names, and local authors too. We'll talk about that in the next segment. Tell us, the Bookworm, in case someone's not heard of it, how long have you been around?
Yeah, we've been open since 1986.
Wow.
So it's been more than 30 years, and we've had 3 locations. We have been in our new one for nearly 8 years, and it's been great. Wow,
well, what does the Bookworm bring to readers? Everybody, that big river company tended to reinvent the retail book industry a little bit. How does the Bookworm differentiate itself from something like that?
Yeah, so we set ourselves apart in that we offer tailored, personalized service, whether that means connecting you to a new book or just helping you through a customer service interaction. And then we offer complimentary gift wrap. We have in-store discussion groups. We have story time for kids.
Wow.
Like we mentioned, we do all these events. So we just have a better way of connecting the reader to the community and connecting the community to the reader than something like an online store.
Wow. You mean I can talk to a human?
Yeah. What a concept.
So an immersive, interactive experience regarding, and that's what readers want, isn't it? I've been chatting with Carl Erickson of the Bookworm, 36-year established company, giving you a retail experience. Check it out, 90th and Center Street area, Omaha, Nebraska. Carl, great to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back to Chapter 2 of Behind the Words TV. I'm Paul Madsen, host of the program and author of Men Grieve Too. Today I'm with Carl Erickson of the Bookworm of Omaha, Nebraska. Carl, welcome back.
Thank you.
Hey,
Hi.
good to see you again.
Again.
And let's talk about some books. But first, tell people, what do you do at the Bookworm?
So at the Bookworm, we are interested in connecting readers to a new book, whether that is for education, for entertainment, for escape. We're also interested in connecting our readers to the community and the community to our readers. And so we have presence at off-site sale events, especially with a lot of nonprofits. And
Off-site?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Local organizations.
Okay.
So
I've forgotten
basically,
about that, yeah.
we just want to get new books into the hands of readers, and we want to connect with people that like to learn and grow and read and
Well, I
discover
really
something
like,
new.
I like what you said about that because, I mean, in today's day and age, everybody's doing this all day long, right? And
Guilty of it myself.
well, as am I. Yeah, I got a new phone and it was telling me about how much time you spent on it, and I go, uh-oh. It must have been Google Maps, and I was driving over 4 hours somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, the point is reading dead?
I don't think so at all. In fact, during the pandemic, I feel like we saw a lot of people that were using it to occupy more time. I would say that there's a great deal of new customers to our store that found us during that time.
Okay.
And I'm in 2 book clubs, and all of the friends that I'm in these book clubs with are in other book clubs.
Okay.
And I don't think reading is going anywhere.
Right.
And even if it is on your phone, it's
It's still reading.
You're getting
yeah.
something done.
And you're downloading a book onto your phone, so I guess that by itself doesn't mean you're you're disconnected necessarily. But so that's interesting. How about that brings up the question of electronic versus the physical book. What kind of trends do you see in that?
I'm not sure. I think personally, I still see a lot of physical books, just because, of course, that's what we're selling. And most of the people that I know are still reading physical copies. I would say maybe what's more popular than an electronic version of a book is an audiobook version. We are connected with an website/phone application, Libro FM, and they're kind of like an Audible basically for independent booksellers.
I've heard of them.
And I know a lot of people that use Libby to get audiobooks from the library. So it seems like maybe audiobooks are bigger than ebooks.
It's so great because I can drive, I can exercise, I can cook, clean, whatever, and still be processing a book. So get exposure to my favorite authors, and that's tremendous. And what you have products there at the store that help promote that kind of thing, the audio books? Yeah,
we have a storefront, for lack of a better word, with Libro FM. So when people purchase audiobooks from Libro, we get a small portion of those proceeds. And there are independent bookstore ebook retailers too. So if you're not a physical copy reader, there are definitely still ways to support local.
Okay, that's a good reminder for me about the audio, because I love audio books and all that kind of thing. I'm going to back up a little bit. I guess I should ask, what business is the Bookworm in? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, but I mean, from a philosophy standpoint, Carl, what business do they see themselves? What service? What product? What do they do right?
Yeah, so we're a local resource, and we are here to connect readers to educational outlets, entertainment outlets, as I mentioned, and the one that I said earlier that really comes to mind is an escape. I think a lot of people turn to read to get out of their day-to-day, and just as a local business at that level, we're really just here. We're in the business of connecting the community of readers together to one another and to discovering something new.
Well, I love the local part. We've talked a little bit about the big online giants selling books and things like that. I mean, I walk, let's say of course online, everybody's looking on their phone. If they have time or they want a book on a certain topic, they might look on their phone. But do you get people stumbling in and saying, hey, I'm looking for something about XYZ?
Oh yeah, yeah. I would say that about maybe a little less than half of our
Really?
our questions about what people are looking for is I'm just looking for something to read.
Wow.
Most of the time somebody will come in and say, "Do you have this book?" and we take them right to
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
getting to just talk to the customer about what did you read last? What have you enjoyed lately? What do you not want to read?
What
And
didn't
getting
you
to
like?
make
Yeah.
personalized recommendations is
Right.
arguably one of my favorite parts of the job.
Okay.
And also what sets us apart as a brick and mortar store. you know?
Well, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I can't go in a bookstore because I end up leaving with too many that I don't get through very often, and my stack grows instead of shrinks. But I will be going to the bookstore soon. We'll talk about that as well.
Yes.
But at any rate, that's that browsing experience.
Yeah.
That's what's so unique compared to online experience, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you see almost half the people come doing that, I suppose, especially around the holidays, right?
Oh yeah, the holidays are definitely a big browsing holiday or a time for us, rather.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just every day you'll see people perusing the shelves. I would say that more often than not, people are coming in just to look for something rather than coming in with something in mind.
Okay.
And
Yeah, well, yeah. They want it now. They want to wait or pay postage or whatever, that kind of thing. So yeah, well, that browsing thing. I'd love sitting in your chairs and checking things out, and they probably want me to go away if I spend too long there. You got to buy something, Paul.
Oh,
no, never. Anyway,
we'll let you hang out. As
Oh,
long
I'm
as you
sure. That's great. Thank you so much. The whole browsing thing is very important. So, well, tell us about some of your another thing that you offer that an online experience cannot, about your visiting authors. Tell us again about some of the big names that have come, and maybe even some of the locals that are coming, and so on.
Yeah. So we have had in the past year Mary Pfeiffer, who's a psychologist and has written a number of books. And she's actually from Lincoln, so she always gets a great crowd out, even though she's a nationally published author.
Yeah.
We've had William Kent Kruger, and he is a mystery author. Back to back, we had Rinker Buck and Mark Lee Gardner, who are both nonfiction historians.
Oh, wow.
And we've hosted Rinker Buck in the past. He kind of puts a creative twist on his nonfiction storytelling, which we really like. And then at the local level, we've had all kinds of people. It's hard to even narrow it down because the variety of writing is all over the place.
Okay.
And one of our favorite events to do, we usually do 2, sometimes 3 of these a year, are our local author days, in which we have anywhere from 6 to 10 authors that are in the store throughout the course of the day.
Okay.
And we just rotate through, and it's an opportunity for them to meet new fans, talk to friends, sign books. And
Well, again, that's an experience that can only be done by a brick and mortar and a local presence, and it helps that you folks are so established and have that history and that reputation. I have to go back to a joke. If you have a name of Rinker Buck, I think you have to be an author.
Oh yeah.
Such a great name.
Yeah. You were destined for it.
You're destined for it. Yeah, that's good. Well, tell us about. Oh, you already told us about some of the national authors. Are there some local authors that you can talk about that have you have some of their books or not? Or I guess. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about the local authors.
Yeah. So one of the books that I do have is Chloe Neal, and she has written a number of books. This is number 4 in her Heirs of Chicagoland series.
Okay.
And it is kind of a follow-up series to an older series that she wrote following a new character.
And what's the genre of it?
It's adult fantasy, sci-fi. This one is like a post-apocalyptic vampire Chicago novel.
And anything vampire just goes crazy, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And those words, post-apocalyptic vampire, that's a great combination.
Yes.
Now, and she's not out of local.
She is here in Omaha.
Oh, she's in Omaha.
Yep,
Okay,
yep,
wonderful.
yeah.
And she's done a signing at the store then?
Yeah. We have one coming up, and We've done plenty with her in the past, and that's the beauty of having local authors around, is that if we ever need them to come in and sign books or drop off bookmarks or whatever, they're able to do it.
Yeah, they're happy
it
to
helps
do
us promote their book, and
Sure.
they of course sell more copies.
Well, that's, everybody wins.
Yeah,
And the
exactly.
reader wins too, right? So
Yeah.
what else do you have in that sack?
Yeah, so these are just the ones that I mentioned a moment ago. This is Rinker Buck's Life on the Mississippi is his most
the
recent
historian.
one. And his predecessor to this was the Oregon Trail, in which he built a covered wagon and took the path of the Oregon Trail.
Whoa.
And in this one, Life on the Mississippi, he
built
a wooden flatboat and sailed the Mississippi.
This is more than just an author. This
Yes,
guy,
yeah.
Where's he out of?
He is out of Tennessee,
Okay.
and
That's pretty impressive.
yeah,
To
just
build-
kind of an adventure historian.
Yeah. Well,
so
I see that it says New York Times bestseller. I can
yes,
certainly see why that would happen. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't. How do you cross the interstates in a
Yeah.
in a covered wagon?
exactly. And so that's the fun of his books, is it's history about
Yeah.
the region and the time and why people were traveling the way that they did, but
Right.
he kind of lived it firsthand.
Right.
And his flatboat era, it's kind of as he mentioned at his author event, an era that we don't really talk about or know much about. But flatboats played such a huge part in American history.
Well, in
So
this
it was
area too. I mean, I
fascinating.
know the Missouri River was big in DeSoto Bend and all that up there. They'll have that. Well, that's. I did not know that authors built historic craft to to be able to talk about their work. And he's been at the Bookworm?
Yes, twice.
Twice,
He was
okay.
here for the Oregon Trail when that came out in, I want to say 15 or 16, and then this time for Life on the Mississippi just last month.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
And
Who else?
then most recently, just last week, we hosted William Kent Kruger, and this is his most recent one. It's called Fox Creek. It's in his Cork O'Connor mystery series.
Okay.
And we've hosted him just about every year. He's got a new book. He is one of the greatest guys ever. And
What's the genre there?
These are mystery novels.
Okay.
It follows a character, Cork O'Connor,
Okay.
and they are set up north and deal with the Ojibwe tribe in a lot of his stories. He also has two standalone novels, Ordinary Grace and This Tender Land.
Okay.
Ordinary Grace has been out for nearly a decade, not quite, but it is still every year at least one of our registered book clubs at the store is reading his book.
Wow.
So Ordinary Grace and This Tender Land are some amazing standalone novels by the same author.
And the genre of it again?
Mystery for those, but then Ordinary Grace and This Tender Land are just historical fiction.
Historical fiction also. Interesting. And he's been here how many times?
I mean, that's his 19th novel in this series, so I would say probably 19 times.
Oh, he comes every year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He loves your stop,
Yes.
huh? Well, that's again. That goes back to the local, the historic, the established business, and how you can differentiate your business, and it's a whole entire experience. And I went to University of Nebraska Omaha. Oh boy, I shouldn't bring it up because I can't remember his name right now. You probably know. The guy who talks about minimalism and important things or something like that. I can't remember the name of the book right now. Anyway, I went to his presentation last summer at UNO, and I hadn't really heard much of him before. Do you know who I'm talking about?
It's not coming to mind.
He's a
yeah.
bestseller, but if I said it, you would know. But
sure.
I just can't remember. Anyway, the point is, totally different experience being there with the author, listening to him talk he went for about an hour or so, and then just asked questions, and there's a couple hundred people there, and it was a big deal, and it just really changes things to have an author there, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And like I mentioned, it's just a great way that we can connect with our community. A lot of times, our author events are some of the biggest ways that we find new customers.
Of course,
just by advertising it. It's like, oh, I follow this author on Instagram, and they're in my city.
And here they are. Yeah, well, that's what happened with
me.
me. A friend of mine called me up and says, "Hey, this is right up your alley. You'd like to hear this guy? And yeah, I would. And we went over and enjoyed the presentation. Again, you can't squeeze 200 people into your store, so that's probably why they did it over there. But
We have, but
you
it's,
have,
it's
wow,
hard,
wow.
yeah. We've hosted David Sedaris quite a few times.
Okay.
And, a humorist and
Okay.
essay author, and we have to move just about all of our shelves. All of our shelves are on casters, so
Oh,
we
that's
have
nice.
to move
I was
just
gonna
about
say.
all of them out of the way, and then we
Wow.
have chairs outside with
Oh,
this
holy cow.
PA system for overflow. And
Holy cow! Well, you do
line
it.
numbers.
You do it big
system.
then. Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I didn't realize you could do all that. So, and yeah.
It's not often, but
No,
we can.
well, maybe, just maybe, coming up on October 15th, we'll have to do that. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
What's coming up on October 15th?
So we are having a gratitude tour with 3 local authors, and one of them is you, Paul.
I'm aware of that. Yeah.
And they are Men Grieve 2 by Paul Madsen, Reignite Your Joy by Dar Geiger, and Seed Stem Bloom by Mary Robinson, who was on your show, I saw.
And Dar also was as well. And in fact, we're all 3 coming back on, and we're going to talk about the upcoming event at the Bookworm. I could just, both Dar and Mary have been on my show in the past, and I don't want to beat a dead horse or anything, but just a little background. Dar will be at the event on October 15th, and she, in this book, tells the story of her addictions and how she overcame them, and how she lost 2 soulmates, not 1 but 2, and how she overcame breast cancer as well. And it's just compelling life story. All those hurdles that she overcame, and so that's terrific stuff. And in Mary, in the Seed Stem Bloom, Mary Robinson, also on this show, she overcame leukemia not once but twice, and just has a real compelling story. This is where you get to be the interviewer, and you can ask me, Paul, how did the Gratitude Books Tour come to be?
Yes, Paul. How did the Gratitude Books Tour come to be?
Oh, you're a budding host in process here. Well,
Thank you.
My book, Men Grieve 2, based on the story of my loss of my wife and my daughter, the bottom line, the shortcut version, if you the what do they call it, the giveaway or whatever?
Stump speech.
Yeah. The theme is eventually peace,
Sure.
Peace of mind. You don't have it, and one of my punchlines is that grief, it doesn't go away. You just get used to it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the bottom line is a theme of peace for Men Grieve 2. So, and with Mary, the punchline, the bottom line on that one is more of a story of love. It's a love story. She has a huge, well, not huge, but she has 4 children, beautiful family, mm-hmm. and she just wasn't ready to go. And it's a story of love that brought her back. And so with Dar, the title again, Reignite Your Joy. And so we had a themed one there. It was a peace, love, and joy. And so the bottom line is that I said, we have kind of a synergy here with the 3 of us. And so let's form an idea of a book tour together. And then, of course, we sat and we tried to figure out a name. They loved the idea, of course, because, synergy is energy, right?
Yeah.
So they loved the idea, and, what are we going to come up with? Well, we, the peace, love, and joy, so we came up with a hippie theme, for the posters, and
Sure.
We'll show that as well. But it's kind of a summer of love hippie theme, but then we ran out of summer.
Yeah,
so
funny how that happens.
Yeah, it just time marches on, right?
Yeah.
And so we became from that the Gratitude Books Tour. And so because we all have gratitude in common in our stories, and we had a book signing at a different book retailer recently, and the turnout was fantastic. It was really. We promoted it a lot on social media and on KPAO TV as well, but the turnout was really good. And so, anyway, that's how it came to be. You get to interview me here, and we're very excited about that as well. Quick wrap up on some of the national things, the bestsellers out there that people might find when they come in.
Sure. And I will just say I'm so excited about this event because I think it is so nice when there are multiple authors in the same room at the same time, because you guys can just commiserate and you make it a great event.
Well, it is. It's all about the energy, and because there was more than one of us there last time, we were talking to people all the time, and it was just fun. Sure. And there's all sorts of great stories that came out of that as well.
It will be great.
You get 30 seconds.
All right. We got The Sentence by Louise Erdrich is a huge seller for us and relatively new in paperback. She's a fantastic author, Pulitzer Prize winner.
Wow.
This Crying in H Mart has been a bestseller ever since it came out over a year ago. Michelle Zauner is the lead singer of Japanese Breakfast, and this deals with her mother's death. So it kind of ties into your gratitude
I have to read
tour.
that because I know it's like #1 in the whole grief sector as well.
Yes. We've been selling tons because when she was here as Japanese Breakfast, signed copies for us.
10 seconds for each.
Lessons in Chemistry is a 1960s woman chemist in an all-male business.
Oh, wow.
We are one of the biggest sellers for this book in the country.
Why is that?
Our sales rep told us.
Okay.
Everybody in the store loves it, and we've been selling it.
Wonderful.
And then The Winners is brand new by Frederick Bachman, who wrote Man Called Ove, and my grandmother asked me to tell you she's sorry. This is the third book in a trilogy, so it is brand new. It came out today.
My grandmother asked you to tell me she's sorry?
Yes.
That's a previous book?
Yes.
That's great title.
Both big bestsellers, those two.
Carl, it goes without saying that the Bookworm is the place to be for entertainment, escapism, education, and inspiration. And I thank you for being here and being with us, and look forward to October 15th when the Gratitude Book Tour is coming your way.
Yeah.
Thanks again for stopping by.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Carl of the Bookworm, and we thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time.